This is the world of Supersaurus, the Stegosaurus. I think that's how you said it. It is... Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm bringing you my next episode in my TBR game. This is for the month of May, and it will be featuring Escape the Readathon. But before we get into that, let's go through how I went with last month's readathon. In April, I participated in the Magical Readathon created by Book Roast, who I'll have linked down below, as well as all the other information you need to know about that readathon. But I had to create a character who went on their magical educational journey. So we had Seraphina Ashencrest, who was participating in the Spring Equinox semester at the Orilium School of Magic. Unfortunately, out of my 6 classes, we were only able to finish 2 of them, with 1 being started. So for a quick rundown on the books on the TBR, first up, we had Original Sin. I was unable to read that one. Then we had A Dragonling's Magical Christmas by S.E. Smith. I did read this one and I completed it on the 6th of April. We then had Cinder by Marissa Meyer, and I was also unable to complete that one. Then we had Spirited by Julie Cohen. I've actually started this book, as you can see. I'm not very far in and I have not yet completed it. Then we had Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo. I was unable to finish that. And last but not least, we had Losers Part 1 by Harley LaRox, and I did complete this one just in time for my new TBR. As you probably remember, I do have an advent calendar challenge that I am trying to participate in for 2025. So my husband has wrapped up 12 books for all 12 months of the year, and each month during my TBR video I unwrap the next book. I am sad to say, unfortunately, I have not yet finished any of them, though I have started one. I actually have been thinking about the fact that I don't include any of these books on my TBR as part of my TBR game. They're just an additional book on my overall TBR. And I've been thinking about whether I should actually take these books into consideration, prioritize these books as part of my upcoming TBR games. Please let me know down in your comments if you think that I should be including these books as potential TBR game or readathon books. But we have book 5 here. It is not very thick, but it does have a little bit of weight to it. I'm wondering if this might actually be a non-fiction book. I'm not exactly sure, but let's jump in and open this up. Okay. I really enjoy the process of opening the books for the year, especially because I actually have that many books that I don't really know what is what. Because my husband organized all these, I have no idea. Oh, okay. Dark Streets. All right, this is book 1 in the Agents of Fear book series. They're by Alex James. And I'm pretty sure I actually might also now have this on Kindle. But in a dystopian future, shattered by a second American Civil War, a breed of powerful psychics, the Hypers, begin to emerge. This is going to be a really interesting read. I'm super excited for it. Though I do have another 4 books before this one on that specific advent calendar challenge that I need to complete. As I mentioned earlier, for the month of May, we're going to be participating in Escape the Readathon created by Books with Lexi. I will have Lexi linked down below, as well as a link for their announcement video for this readathon. So the 2025 theme is Orange Cat Cruises. That means we have bought our ticket and we have boarded the Orange Cat Cruise. We are out in the ocean and we need to get through some challenges, get through some rooms to survive this adventure. This is a team-based readathon, so we are separated out into 4 different teams. You do get to choose which team you join. And those teams are detectives, hackers, mediums, and podcasters. I decided to join the mediums, and my team captains are Jordan and Jessie. I'll have both of their channels also linked down below, so make sure you check them out. So there are 6 rooms that have 6 prompts on our cruise, and we need to read books for said prompts. However, when a room is unlocked, Lexi has figured out how many books or pages or some arbitrary number per team that does differ based on the people who have joined the team and how many-ish books they read per month. But when a room is unlocked, we then enter that room and have to participate in a number of other games. That means to create this TBR, I have done a book for each one of those 6 rooms, those 6 prompts. However, I might actually not need to read all of them, depending on how quickly the rooms start to get opened up by my team. So though we have slightly planned for this readathon, we do not know where this adventure will take us, and hopefully we make it out alive. Like I said, make sure you check out Lexi's announcement video if you would love to join in, or the Discord, and I'll have all of that linked down below. But let's jump in to the rooms, prompts, and books that I'm hoping to get through this month. First up, we have Dining Room, and that's a book that matches your current outfit. As you can see, I am currently wearing this green jacket, as well as a Jurassic Park shirt that has a dinosaur on it. So, taking mostly my shirt and the dinosaur into consideration, I have pulled in this book here. And this is The World of the Supersaurus, the Stegosaurus. I think that is how it is said. This is by J.J. Bergridge. I hope that is said correctly, and is the 2nd book in the World of Supersaurus series. This is a children's book, and I got it from the library. That means that the writing style is very easy to read, and it does have quite a lot of illustrations in it. I really did enjoy the first book in this series. I talked about it in one of my previous year's Read With Me series. I'll put the link for the exact year up in the comments, as well as down in the description if you would like to check that out. But this is going to be the first book we'll be reading. Next up, we have Bar, and this is a genre blend. For that, I've decided to read A People's History of the Vampire Uprising. This is by Raymond A. Villarreal. This is a horror science fiction, and I found this book on a list of must-read genre blends. I'll have that list down in the description in case you would like to check it out, but it is a horror science fiction, a horror science fiction as well as a fantasy. It's all three of those. And I also think, though it doesn't say this on Goodreads, it does have a detective element to it as well. So it says here, a lone CDC agent on the trail of a body missing from the morgue, a political kingmaker about to change the course of history, a mysterious installation deep in the New Mexico desert, a brotherhood prepared to do anything to stop the coming tide, and more bodies found across the country, completely drained of blood. This looks like a fantastic read. You already are probably aware that I'm a big fan of the vampire trope, the vampire theme. In fact, I'm currently doing a panning project for Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's called Pan More with Feeling, and I'll have that linked up in the cards as well as down in the description. This is definitely a big read, so though I'm super keen to get into it, it is one that would probably take me a majority of the month. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to prioritize this or focus in on some of the smaller books to try to get my numbers up. But I'm unsure because I'm really excited to read it. So we'll see how that goes. This is the book for the Broom Bar. Then we move into the theatre, and for that we have a popcorn read. And I'm going to be reading a book from my Kindle app. This is Bear, Tempest Elite Motorcycle Book 1. This is by Regan Phillips and is quite a short read, only around 150 pages. Considering the blurb, this book seems to be about a girl named Bree whose brother has died, and he has sent her to find his ex-commanding officer if anything goes wrong. Bear is the ex-commanding officer, but he is now the president of a motorcycle club, and as you can imagine, adventure and probably a bit of spice will ensure. This is probably one I will try to knock out really early in the month, considering how small it is and that I can easily read it on my phone, and that it is a popcorn read, and the purpose of a popcorn book is one that you can fly through quite quickly. So I'll probably knock this one out as early as possible. Then we move on to Pool, and that is a book with double letters in the title. Technically, Lexi has made it so it just needs to be double letters. They don't need to be side by side. But I decided to see if I could find a book that had double letters next door to each other. And for that, I've rolled in the yearbook committee. So book from yearbook has double letters next door to each other. And obviously, committee has 2 M's, 2 T's, and 2 E's all next door to each other. So I thought this would be a fun one to bring in for this prompt. This is a teen fiction, and here it says 5 teenagers, 5 lives, 1 final year. It's got the school captain, the newcomer, the loner, the popular girl, the MP's daughter. 5 unlikely teammates thrust together against their will. Can they find a way to make their final year a memorable one, or will their differences tear their world apart? I am a massive fan of the movie The Breakfast Club, and this, currently looking at the blurb, gives me Breakfast Club feels. So I am keen to see how this one rolls out, whether it has same Breakfast Club vibes or it is a different breed altogether. Then for arcade, we have an underrated book. And for that, I've pulled in a self-published book. This is Heir to the Ice Flame by Rose Harvey. I met Rose at Supernova last year, and this is the first book in the Ice Flame trilogy. So I have the first and the second book so far. It says here on the back, a kingdom cast into darkness, a hidden princess running for her life, a boy with dreams of becoming a knight, a devoted guard with secret intentions. So it is definitely a good fantasy read, and I've classed this as underrated because I'll put up on the screen up here now. On Goodreads, you can see at the time of filming there has been 32 ratings, and it has a average rating of 4.54. So I do think that this is definitely underrated, and I'm looking forward to jumping into it. Last but not least, we have Gym and Spa, and this is a book that you have been putting off. I was unsure what I was going to do with this because I wasn't sure if I should read a book I'd already started. But according to Lexi's rules, I have to read more than 50% or 200 pages within the month of May to class it as completed within this readathon. And that means I can roll in City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. You have probably been around for a while and know that I am about 30% into this book. In fact, I have read 166 pages, and there is, let me flick to the back here, there is 509 pages in this book. So I definitely can finish this one up and class it as a book I've read in May for this readathon. So therefore, a book I have been putting off is going to be City of Bones. I discussed this a bit more in my plan to pan video from last year. I'll have that linked up in the cards and down in the description. But I started this book back in 2018, and we are still yet to finish it. So it is one of those hanging around on my TBR. And I do have the next two books in this series. I do own them. So I would really like to get this done so I can move on to the next one. So those are the 6 books I'll be aiming to read throughout this readathon. But as I said earlier, this readathon is one where once a room is unlocked, you do not need to, or you cannot read for that prompt anymore. But there will be games and new prompts associated with that room. So this is a bit of an adventure, and I am setting myself up at the start to see how it goes. But we may end up on some wild ride that does not end with these books being read. So far, I've only really been managing to read 2 or 3 books throughout a month. So I'm not picturing I'm going to be reading all 6 books. But I am excited to see where this gets us. Until next time, I'm Verity. This was my May TBR game. And now to the outro.